Now, what are expressions? Expressions literally are just little lines of code that you add into After Effects to make your animations better, and it works in a plethora of ways. I'll be going through the simple expressions so you can understand the expressions first, then I'll now be going into a more complex expression toward the end. I'll be showing you guys how to get expressions by yourself and how to source for expression and how to edit expressions that you source for later in this video. Everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is King Sam and I make motion graphics and graphics related content right here on YouTube. And if that's something interesting, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more amazing videos just like this. I am trying to get to 5,000 subscribers and I'll be really grateful if I do. I'm not talking too much, let's jump right to the video. Okay, so here we are in After Effects and I'm going to be working on our first expression, and let's create a new composition. Okay, so the first expression I'm going to be talking about is the wiggle expression. And I'm going to use our position property to explain that. So if you type in wiggle in your expressions and you click on this, now you have this bracket now, and inside the bracket they're going to fill two things. They're going to put in the frequency, that is the number of times you want the position to move, and you're going to put the amplitude, that is by how much you want it to move. So let's say I put 2, 30 or 33, let's use 30. So if I play that back now, it's going to keep on moving like this. You can see the amount of motion it's having. So what we're saying now is that when I play this thing back, you can see that this is going to move 2 times per second, and the maximum distance is going to move is by 30 distance. You can change it to anything you want. Let's change that like 10 or something. Let's see. Now, another way you can use this expression is by, you can always link it to sliders. So now like this, if you say you want it to vibrate a bit more, you can just play that and you can just change this. Let's say we are going to change this to like 20. So you see that it's vibrating a bit more in the same amount of time. So that's looking crazy. So now if you want to say, okay, let's have better control of this, so I don't need to be entering this expression every time, I can come to effect here. Let's select this. I come to effect here, I can come to expression control, and I can come to slider controls. So you see this here. Let's duplicate it because we have 2 different parameters. So if I come inside here now and I double click on this, I can use this expression pick whip now to just equip it to my slider. So I'm going to pick whip that to slider 1, to double tap this, and I'm just going to use that to pick whip it to slider 2. If you play it back now, you can see that it's not going to move because everything now, based on what is here, it's at 0. And you can always just change the color. So say color, you can change the name. And I'm just going to come here like this now and just change the name of this slider control now to frequency, and change this second one to amplitude. So as I'm increasing this one, let's say I increase the frequency to like 17, I increase the amplitude to like 30. Now it's just going to just do the same thing like me just typing it there in the first place. And then we can actually use this wiggle effect is you can use it based on axis. So let's say I don't want this our expression level. Let's control everything back to the beginning that's like this. And I can just, convert this into a 3D layer, and I can just input the wiggle expression on each individual position that is going to have, on the individual orientation that it's going to have. So let's say I'm just going to open this up now. You can see I have X, Y, and Z rotation. I can wiggle the expression on each and every single one of them. So yeah, it's a very cool thing to have. You can play around with it. It'll be very, very cool for you. And let's jump to the second one. This video was sponsored by the John Testors, and their brand new music video is out right now and it's called Waves, and it was edited and the storyline was created by me right here. And for those of you that were online with me live yesterday, I showed you guys how I created everything from the beginning to the end, about the storyline to the AI videos, and everything was done free. I did all my generations free. I did all the video editing free of charge. I did not pay for any AI tool. So I'll leave the link to that video in my video description. You can check it out. And I'll leave a link to Waves in the video description. You can check it out also. And now we're going to talk about, the time expression. And time expression most of the time works on like rotation and turbulent displays. I'll go into that later. And if I click here and just type in time, just press play on the rotation, it's going to try and rotate everything 1 degree at a time. So the good thing about the time expression is that you can actually give it what you want it to rotate by. Let's say I want it to rotate by 25 degrees every second. I can just put multiplied by 25 like this. And if I play that back, you can see that it's rotating faster because I've changed what the time expression is going to be. And that way that you can use this time expression is if you're working with layers that have fractal noise. And if I create a new solid and I just apply my fractal noise to that, and if I all click my evolution here, and I can just use that our time expression. So I can just go time, then I just multiply it by, let's say, 400. Let's go back and check how it looks. Can see that it just making it a whole lot more random as it's going along. Okay, so the next one I'm going to talk about is -1 expression. So at the beginning here, I'm going to take it back to -600. I'm going to make a keyframe, come to around 1 second here. I'm going to change that back to normal 600, remove the negative. And at the end 2 seconds here, I'm just going to bring that back to, normal, -600. Cool. Now, the two of them are actually moving together, but let's say I want to reverse the one on top. What I'll do is I'll just open this up, enter here, and just add multiplied by -1 at the end of this place here. And what that does now is that it just reverses the motion. So this works when you're just trying to, reverse the very simple motion for a particular animation like this. Okay, so now going back to this animation now that is rotating now, and you just want to add something to this rotation because it's going to start from the beginning. And let's say I want it to start from a particular angle. What I'm just going to do now is if I come here and I just add plus value, now what's going to happen is that from any angle that I rotate it from, let's say I start the rotation from here, it's just going to continue from there. So it's just going to start adding the value from here. If this wasn't there, no matter what I add at the beginning, is always going to start from the beginning. Like this. No matter what I even add here, everything just going to go back to 0. But when you add your plus value, any place you leave it at the beginning, any rotation you give it, like for plus 107 here, it's just going to continue from there like this. A crazy way you can do this is like, let's, for example, okay, this thing's always going to be moving this slow. Let's say I make a keyframe on my rotation at this point in time. I come somewhere around here and I just rotate it so that I want it to be faster. And what's that going to happen is that once you reach there, it speeds up and it just comes back to slow. So it's a good way of adding like a constant motion. And if you add that with like very good graph editing, let's say I easy use that, now it will have a very smooth in and out motion, and it's very, very crazy. You can use this for a lot of things that you want to do. Okay, so the next I'm going to talk about is the loop out expression. And we have this our circle here. And if I go to my opacity now, and I'm just going to make some keyframes, let's come back to the beginning here. And let's say at the beginning here, it's at 0, then it comes back to 0 here. So we have this on and off style animation. But you can see that after this place finishes, it's not there anymore. So instead of us copying and pasting keyframes over and over again, if we all click our stopwatch and just type in loop out and just leave that there, you can just see it just keep on going over and over and over and over and over again till our sequence ends. And that way you can do this is if you just convert them to hold keyframes to make it a little bit better. So keyframe assistant, and where's our toggle hold keyframes? What we have now, we'll just have off and on animation like that. Very, very clear. It's not fading on and fading off. It's just on, off, off. So it's a very cool looking animation and it's crazy. And that is case you can use this for is when you're like trying to make eyes blink. So let's open our scale, for example, and let's just unlink the scale. And you have our left and right eyeball looking cool like this. What I can do is I can just make a keyframe at the beginning, come to somewhere like here, change this to 0, come to the end here, and we're just going to change this back to 100. So let's make sure this is at the middle. And what we have now is a very cool blinking effect. So check that again. Cool. Now let's just make another keyframe here at 100. And if I click this and type in loop out, I don't need to actually just copy and paste these keyframes over and over again. It's just going to keep on repeating for me, and I am just good and I'm awesome like that. The next one now, let's just make some position keyframes. Let's come here. Let's move this down here. Come down 2 seconds here and just move this up here again. So something like this. And I'm just going to still type in my loop out expression, but for what I'm going to type here now, and I'm just going to put quotation marks, and I'm just going to go down to ping pong here. Now, if I play that, you can see that it's just going to ping pong between the different keyframes. Okay, so now if I go inside here now, and I just come to the end of this ping pong here, I put comma, I type in num keys, I press equals to 1, and I go back. What happens is that it now start bouncing between these last two keyframes here. So you can see now it will start from this one here, move, and start bouncing between these two keyframes here. Okay, so next I'm going to talk about now is I'm going to just change this ping pong now to offset. Let's play that back. Now you can see that it just keeps on going through the random motion from beginning here till the end. And like always, if I come inside here and I'm just going to tell it comma num keys equals to -1, you can see that it just keeps on flying towards outside like this instead of it coming back down to this. It just keeps on going up. Next one I'm going to talk about is we're going to go to cycle. And if we come back here, let's check out cycle. So it's just going to jump back to the beginning here. It's not going to like keep on repeating anything. It's just going to jump back to the beginning here. And like always, you can always use that other expression. And for this one now, I'm just going to see it circle between these keyframes. So you can just see it just keeps jumping back here. There's a final loop out, and that is continue. So if you put continue here, continue just going to keep on sending it upward like this. You understand? So any motion that was the last motion, you're just going to keep on sending it wherever it was going to before. And you can always add that other expression to make it just jump back to the previous keyframes also. So next one I'm going to be talking about is going to be for my text animation. Let's say I have a number like this. Let's start from 0 and like this. Let's centralize our anchor points and let's just shoot that to the middle of our composition. Before we learn the expression, I just want to lock this anchor point, and I can just come to my effect and just say lock anchor points and just lock that in. Now I'm going to effects, I'm going to expression control, and I'm just going to get a slider. I'm going to open up my slider. I'm going to open up my text, and I'm going to source text here. I'm going to alt click source text here. I'm just going to pick that to this slider over here. Now I'm just going to go to my slider here and just go to make a keyframe on my slider, hit U, and I can just call that, let's say 30. Come down here and I'm just going to change this to 0. So what I've basically created here is a simple count up animation. But now you can see that we have a little problem with, we have everything, but we have all these decimals here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to alt click this stopwatch here. I'm just going to come before this my expression here, and I'm just going to write math dot. I'm not going to write round. So now I can delete these brackets, and I'm just going to make sure the bracket closes at the back here. And what that does is that it removes all the decimal points and just convert everything into round numbers. So you can do it for as high as you want. Let's say you want to take this to, it's just going to keep on counting till 700. So yeah, very cool effects. Now giving you like intro to expressions, and we are going to be getting some more technical expressions now. And one of the things I like doing whenever I'm looking at expressions, like I like downloading expressions. For example, let's say I want like a bounce expression. You can just search it online, and you have a lot of people that have expressions to use. School of Motion has a lot of expressions. I cannot say enough of good stuff about School of Motion. cie__値_income has very good expressions also. So you should just follow all these kind of sites and get expression. And that thing I realized is that Claude has been cooking when it comes to like expressions and stuff like that. So you can actually ask Claude to give you expressions that you can actually use. For example, I can say, Claude, give me a bounce expression for After Effects. And it has given me a very simple bounce expression. I can just copy that. Let's go into After Effects and see what it has given us. So let's get like a circle and stuff, and let's do a normal drop animation. Okay. Now if I alt click this and just paste what Claude gave me here, I play that back, you can see that we have that very cool looking at expression like this. Okay, so let's just give this a very cool graph editing. So let's just select this our layers and just drag that in, drag this back. So now you can see it's very aggressive. Okay, so one thing you can do now is, after I've gotten that, let's see something that is very intimidating like this. You can see you have our amplitude, our frequency, and our decay. And because of what I've showed you at the beginning when we were talking about just the introduction to the expressions and all, if I come to effects, let's just make sure this is selected. Effects, I'm going to expression control and slider control. I can duplicate this twice. Now I'm just going to select this amplitude here, and I'm just going to clip that to the top here. Can select this also, click that to the top here, select this also, and just the normal things, click that to the top here. And I can just change all those ones now back, and now we can have our slider looking amazing like this. With a few tweaks, let's say we change this to 2, we change this to 1, we can have everything like this now, very editable, and it's actually looking cool as always. So please, these some things that you can do by yourself. Let's say I want a count up animation too. Like in our previous video, I went into Claude and asked Claude to give me a count up animation. Claude does those kind of things very well. So I don't think there's an expression that you need that Claude can't give you. And we have websites that you can actually get cool expressions that I never even knew existed. See bounce expression here. This is cie_値_income, like I was telling you guys, School of Motions and that one, like I was saying. This cie_値_income, see bounce expression here. See the wiggle expression that we talked about. You have your squash and stretch expression here, motion tail expression, timer up and down expression. So you have a lot of expressions that you can actually go through. And I'm going to link the sites in my video description so you can like see them and test them out for yourself. So yeah, a lot of things. Thank you for watching that video. What do you think? Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more amazing videos just like this. And I'll be really grateful. I am almost to 5,000 subscribers, and I'll be really grateful if you guys can get me over the edge. So from now until the next time, remember to improve every day, to grow constantly, and to dream endlessly. I love you guys.